What is good, y'all? It's Ronald, also known as Youcapper from Sportsmemo.com at @U_Capper on Twitter. We got a large slate today. I got Greg with me. We got Chris with me to break it down. We'll see how many games we get through, but I don't think we're gonna touch every single game. Shout out to the chat, whoever's in here. Let's figure out what we want to do and cap as a community here. See if we can cash together pretty much. Yesterday went through some props. Didn't go too well. The one that I did hit was the McCollum assist. Devin Vassell didn't do his job. Split the sides. I did go with the Pelicans yesterday, and I did go with the Wizards. Wizards looked like they had it, but they ended up folding in the fourth quarter. Did you guys have any action yesterday? How did you guys do, Greg? How did you do?
No, I laid off yesterday. Just couldn't find anything worth going after, so I was off. Just went and partied last night, so that was it.
What about you, Chris?
Yeah, see, I had some action yesterday, but I wasn't really trying to touch either one of those sides. I felt like I could kind of see both of them going, either way. So I went with a couple props yesterday. It was pretty successful with props yesterday. I was on Walker Kessler over his 7.5 rebounds. Love that spot against the Wizards. He cashed that in the third quarter. Took him up to 10. He cashed that as well. Should have kept going because he went out with a 14 and played his double-double at plus 350 yesterday. So that cashed. I was also on Trey Murphy in the first game for the Pelicans, and he barely got there. Garbage time bucket got us over the 14.5. So had him at 20 as well, but smaller play. So profitable day on the props yesterday for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that said, let's kind of get into it. Let's just break down some games live here. Let me get the banner up if I still have it. I don't even have it anymore. I didn't prep anything before this game, because I was on the triple double show. But let's get the screen up here. We'll start doing the screen share. Let's actually look at the first game that we were just kind of talking about right before this. And I know Greg is a Blazers guru, so I want to talk about this because a lot of us in our group chat is on the Blazers, and you haven't said nothing yet. So I want to talk about why you haven't. Like, what is telling you that Blazers may not be the spot today?
One of the things I noticed last game was Chauncey's comments of how he said the team was tired already. This is a long road trip for them, 6-game on their road trip, came back home. So that's one of the things, and I just don't like where we're at on the defensive end right now. They can't stop a soul. So you can score as many points as you want, but if you can't stop nobody, I kind of got to lay off for a minute. And they blew those 2 games there in my opinion. The first one for sure, and the last one they were up 3 with like 2 to play as well. So they just haven't been able to close games out. I know this is a get back spot from the Jamal Murray 3 to win it. 3 beat them, 2 didn't. So they have that revenge, but I like the way that Denver's playing. I think that Jokic is going to be able to pick them apart like he does every team. So to me, I'm just staying off of it. I'm kind of curious why other people are on it. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, I got you. So these are some of the things that I looked at here. So some of the trends that put me in that direction. So I know that, like you mentioned, the rest factor, the rest and the travel factor, but for some reason, if we look at the Blazers when they're less rested than their opponent, they're actually 7-2 straight up, 8-1 against the spread. I don't know if it has to do with maybe how the line adjusts because of the limited rest, but that is how it's been going so far lately, and they covered, pretty much pretty strong in that sense. And then if we look at the other side here, sorry, not the other side, but another angle here as far as like the road aspect of it. So we go Blazers on the road, and so going from a road game and their next game is at home. So that travel spot going into that sort of like the last game of the road trip and how they want to close that out. It seems like they've been doing good in that spot as well. So they're 4-1 ATS in that spot. I also like the under in this game, and this calls it out as well. The 4-1 to the under. If we look at the the Nuggets side, another reason why I like the under in this one. We go Nuggets, and gives a high total in general. So total greater than, let's just say 230. I have this one listed 231. They're 7-1 to the under. So these were some of the looks that I had as far as that game goes. Is really towards the Blazers. because I feel like maybe the line has over adjusted a little bit. Maybe the Blazers should only be maybe 2.5 point dogs in that sense, but because of their schedule, it seems like they kind of added a little bit to it, and that gives us more value towards the Blazers here. Chris, you probably have some angles on this one, or shoot, I see YBB in the building here. I know you were on the Blazers as well, YBB. Chris, let's start with you. What were some of your angles that got you towards the Blazers here?
No, RC, I'm actually not on the Blazers today.
Oh, you're not?
I'm not.
Oh,
Not. So we can kick it straight to YB now. I think Greg makes some good points, RC, about that defense. One thing I'll say, to kind of come back at what Greg was talking about is the defense, right? I was on Portland recently, and they let me down. I think I had them not the first game, but not the second game, but the first game against OKC, because they did just come off the back to back. In that game, Greg, the defense looked pretty bad. But last game, you guys actually did play defense, right? You only lost the game 101-98. So defense kind of picked up. I look for one of the things that's, can be hard to kind of quantify at times, but we can run queries for it, is how these teams bounce back on a defensive end, right? So I think to your point, Greg, it's really, really tough to fade Denver at home. I lost a pile of money the other day taking the Memphis Grizzlies in that spot, who came out extremely flat, and they were coming off a loss as well to this same exact team. So that's the only thing I would kind of add to that, RC, but I'm not on the Blazers today. I'm going to kick it to YBB. He probably
is.
What
you got, YBB?
Yo, what up, guys? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Hey, I sent you a couple of SDQLs in the chat, actually. One of them is actually going to support that under that you're looking at in the Blazers Nuggets game. But yeah, that's the top look for me as well. I like the Blazers in the spot. There's a couple of that one right there, 0-12 ATS.
Are you okay if I show the syntax?
2 games today.
Are you okay if I show the syntax or?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so it looks like a lot of stuff, but if you just look at it, I was just reading it out loud in my head. But if you look at it, it actually isn't a lot. It just looks like a lot of letters, a lot of syntax. But so the previous opponent was on the road. This is a home game for the team, so this is towards the Nuggets as a team here. They are more rested than their opponent. This is a spot where that they already beat that team. And then the opponent is also coming off of a loss, so it's a road loss for the Blazers here. You have H in here twice, and then here you go. And then the next game is at home, so it's sort of you're looking at the schedule spot here in that sense, right? So you're making sure that they're in the middle of a homestand, and then this is they're coming off of a conference game, so maybe like a hard fought game. So that's where I kind of. I look at that too as well. So Nuggets coming off a hard-fought game that is meaningful. The schedule spot, they're in the middle of a homestand where they're kind of feeling comfortable with themselves, right? So maybe they overlook that and the Blazers take advantage. It's similar to what I was talking about earlier, how I feel like the Blazers should only be about 2.5 point dogs instead of the 4.5. So there's that value there in my opinion. And it looks like Mitch is on the money line. So
that's my home. It's my home sandwich theory. Basically, previous home, next home, you are home, and it's just it's a comfort spot, comfort fade. And I also sent you another SDQL in that same chat. It's a 14 and 42 ATS spot. It's a fade spot. That's the 0 and 8 for division, but that's to support your under spot.
Got you. This one up.
I'm not on the under necessarily, but. Yeah, this one's active in 3 games actually. This goes back to 2016. So
this is that sandwich spot again, but you added a
home sandwich spot. Yeah, it's a home sandwich spot, and it's the previous matchup they had an assist to turnover ratio of less than 2, but they still ended up winning that game. So there were a plethora of turnovers in the game, and it's active in 3 spots. And if you look at even I think since 2018, 2019, it's 2 and 17 ATS.
Yeah.
We got 3 games coming up. Actually 4. I didn't even see Celtics and Rockets on there until right now.
There's Pacers, Blazers, and Wizards. I like this because I like the Pacers and the Blazers today. So that supports me there. It's funny because like I never seen these queries earlier, but the more experience you get with the syntax, you kind of see right away. Like I already saw right away in that first one that you were looking at the sandwich spot because of the scheduling that you were looking at, like the home, the previous and all that stuff. So I actually like that look a lot. as far as like sandwich spots go. So, oh man, I like it. I had nothing on that Kings Wizards one, but it does make sense here, especially how like I feel like the Wizards. I don't know how they folded in that fourth quarter like that, but I had the Wizards yesterday.
I had a good support on them too yesterday, but I mean, I didn't have them. I do have the Blazers today. I like the Blazers, but the rest of them, I don't have anything on it. They just fit the script for the query I sent. So
if you look at this too, it does support the under as well. Because look at that, 6-1 to the under so far this season. So that does support the under here for that Blazers game too. Man, I like that. Oh, thank you, YBB. Now that gives me a little bit more support there. Stuff that I didn't actually look at, but that helps. Anyone want to add anything to this game at all, or should we move on to the next one? What's the chat saying here? Blazers money line, Mitch.
Yeah. Man, Stoney said that's that's a hell of a query.
Hell yeah, it's a hell of a query. But like I said, man, like these things they look long, these things look long, but if you look at the logic behind it, it really makes a lot of sense, dude. Like it just does. And sometimes people get scared. But like I said on the show, dude, you guys DM me questions, proper questions about SDQL, things that you actually want to learn, not shit like what's your play today or whatever. I'm gonna respond to you and I'm gonna help you as much as possible. I mean, ask Chris, like legit. I gave him the sources. I answered the questions that he wanted to, that he needed to know really. And it's all about the foundation with the SDQL. None of this stuff is advanced, like at all. Like none of it is advanced. These are literally just schedule spots. So I mean, if you guys DM me, I will help you guys. There's no question about it. All right, so next, let's go to another game that I was looking at. Actually, Chris, what's the one game that you want to look at?
Man, it's a few of them. I see. Let's go to the Philadelphia 76ers and the Clippers game. I think that's a really interesting game for today.
Sixers and Clippers?
Oh yeah, let's go to Sixers and Clippers.
I don't think I really looked at this game much. I knew there was one spot towards the Sixers though. That was it, but nothing else. What do you got going on this one?
Yeah, no, I was looking towards the under, RC. I think the under is in play. I got it in my best slip, just haven't placed it yet, waiting for confirmed lineups. It's trending down. I see it open at 216. It's down at 215.5. I see some 215s as well. Two really, really slow paced teams. We know that the Philadelphia 76ers play extremely slow. The Clippers play extremely slow. Clippers actually, only getting 3.5 points in here versus a really, really good home team. We know the 76ers are, I think, 13-5 against the spread at home this season, which is good for the third best ATS record. The Clippers are getting healthy at the right time, RC. Right around, got PG, got Kawhi. They beat the Hornets the other day, demolished them at home. But now they're coming across, we always talk about that previous site streak, right?
Yeah.
Where, they're playing 4 games in the West Coast. Now they got to travel all the way to the East. So I was looking towards the under. I see I got some things that kind of support it.
Let me know.
Let me get to my, okay. So I got, so if you look at the Clippers, and you're not going to be able to look at this primarily, RC, because you have to go to Give Me the Dog or Spodevs. Yeah. Cause I looked at the Clippers with both Kawhi and PG in. I think it's important to, to make sure those guys are mentioned because they're a totally different team when they're on the floor.
Oh yeah.
But if you look at the Clippers, when they're dogs, both games I think have came at home this season, but they're 2-0 to the under in that spot. Small sample size, of course, because they're not going to be dogs too often when both of those guys are on the floor. So I just want to just kind of remember these point totals. So,
Clippers without Paul George and Kawhi, 8-2 straight up, 6-4 ATS, 6-4 to the under. And you said when they're dogs?
Yeah, when they're dogs, yeah.
All right, 1-1 and 2-0 to the under. Damn, that's really low. 104, 102.5.
Right. That's because they impact the game so much on the defensive end. I see they're two of the better wing defenders in the league. Another thing I looked at was you look at the Sixers when they're at home. They are a home favorite, a short home favorite. So look at them, with the spread today. Just look at the 76ers at home, having to cover by just 4 points. 4 points or less is what I put in. And you see under a nice little trend towards the under there, 5-1.
So these closer games, they typically go under. Okay, that makes sense.
Right. So that was another thing that I looked at. Also Sixers 5-1-1 to the under with the average of so that's what I was talking about. RC. That's 200 and you just looked at 208 points, right? So you got 209 points, I think, in the other query that we just ran.
215. Yeah, it's going down too. Okay.
Yeah. Also, RC, if you go back to SPO and you look at Embiid, because we know he's missed some time this season as well. You look at the Sixers as a home favorite with Embiid in. When they have to cover a short spread of 4 or less as well. It's just something about these, these games where teams kind of get up for each other because they know that they have really good competition coming in.
Yeah.
So with Embiid in, they're 4-1-1 to the under with Embiid in as a home favorite when they're having to cover by 4 or less in that spot as well, average of about 211 points.
Yeah.
I know we've been on the wrong side.
Chris, even if you don't mess with the line, it's still a really good hit rate, 8 and 4 to the under.
Right. So yeah, I just to me, RC, it feels like, I know me and you've been playing a lot of totals. I know a lot of people don't like to get involved, especially with these lower totals. I totally understand, but when I'm finding this much information, and there's more, like, when I'm finding this much information, to me, it kind of leads towards the under, especially if I see the total actually coming down as well. So
yeah,
I like the under in this spot, RC.
Yeah, that's a good look. Any of you guys have a take on this game? Greg or YBB?
I mean, I was looking towards the towards the Clippers. Goddamn, I'm out of it today. But I just don't know if I want to get there. I was kind of saying a little bit earlier. This is their first game off that long homestand, but they I think kind of Chris, like, to go to his points on it, like when Kawhi and PG are out there, man, they affect the game very much for that team and how they run the ball, like the sets that are run, the defense that is played. I'm just not sure if I really want to step in front of the Sixers right now, but that's the closest one I'm looking at getting to. And for me, it's not even taking the points. I think if you take the points, you're looking more towards them to win outright. So I'm just trying to see if I just want to get there. I'm just kind of just taking it slow today, man. I don't know why, but
yeah,
just trying to make sure I just get some quality out there.
Yeah, one way that I was looking at it, guys, I was talking about this. I don't know if I was actually maybe I was talking about this on the triple double. Now I forget. So many games today, I don't know what I've talked about already. But if you look at Sixers at home versus non-conference opponents, I don't know why we gotta spell out the whole thing, but they're 5-2 straight up, 6-1 ATS in that spot, 4-3 to the under. So slightly lean towards the under in this trend here, but more so that the 76ers take advantage when West Coast teams come over to the East. I think one of the things that I wanted to look at for the most part, though, and my partner on Triple Double, Matt, brought this up, was a prop perspective. Embiid on his PRA. Look at the gap. I don't know if is that too small. Hold on one second. Look at the gap in his PRA between Eastern versus Western Conference teams. So teams that travel over there, 38.1 points per game, 10.7 rebounds, and 4.7 assists. So he talked about the PRA for Embiid, and that really looks like a pretty good spot to be honest, and has proven that he's done well against those teams traveling over to Philly. So that's one way to look at it. I don't know if I'm gonna get to the window with this game for the most part, just because I see other games on the board a little bit better. But I could definitely see that the way that you broke down that under, Chris, was pretty good. So I might have to take a deeper dive into that one. Clippers, Sixers, under.
RC, real quick, while we still on this game, query this real quick. So I was looking at two good teams that are facing off, and with the home favorite laying 4 points or less this season so far. So I just put in win percentage greater than 60% and opponent win percentage greater than 60% with the home favorite laying 4 or less.
Okay, so the home favorite line.
Yeah, so home favorite line of 4 and win percentage is greater than 60. Let's see. No, I think that's what I put in. Yeah, maybe it's equal because I feel like I got a bigger query than that.
That's home favorite line of 4 or less. What is the line at? It's at 2.5, right?
It was 3.5, I think.
3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta look that one up. I thought that's what I had put in though.
Well, it actually looks towards the nets, anyways.
Yeah, it looks towards the nets. Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's do. Let me know when you figure it out, Chris.
Okay.
We'll get back to it. But
okay,
let's look at. So we took Blazers. Sorry, we looked at Blazers. We looked at Clippers, Sixers. Shoot, since we're looking at this Bucks Nets, Chris, I think I know we were looking at the same angle here towards the under. Did you guys have any look on this one, Greg or YBB?
I don't have a look on the Bucks and Nets, but on principle, I would just go with the Bucks, just based on the Nets home fade, fewer than 4 points. I know that they've been playing out of their mind, so it's kind of hard to fade them.
Yeah.
But I just think that the Bucks match up well with them, and coming off that loss against the Cavs, I don't know. I like the spot for them. But I didn't really have anything on the game. That would just be like my initial look and lean.
Yeah. So on the side perspective, if we look at team equals and P. So if we look at the Bucks off of a loss, they do well. They're 7-1 straight up, 6-2 ATS. One thing that I did look at though was the Nets. Man, where did it go now? Oh yeah, Nets and so when they're so they're not playing on Christmas Day. Bucks are. They're playing the Celtics on Christmas Day. So I was looking at the possible look ahead spot here, and the Nets, they don't play until after Christmas, so they got extended rest more than the Bucks. So I looked at that spot. This one actually pointed me towards the under more than anything on the side. So 6-1 to the under. I feel like they play really good defense in this spot. Well, no, they're only allowing 104.1 points per game, and we talk about the Bucks and how they struggle on the road. And they struggle primarily on offense. They're dead last in offensive rating on the road. So this kind of lines up. This trend here lines up with the Bucks struggling offensively. Doesn't necessarily mean that the Nets are going to cover, but because I mean you can see here they're only 4-3 ATS, but I can see the Nets playing really good defense here. I could see the Bucks continuing to struggle offensively on the road, and that's why I like the under in this one. And I believe. Pace-wise, the Nets have been playing a little bit slower as well. So yeah, a lot of things were pointing towards the under.
I sent you an SDQL, Ronald, on the Bucks and Nets. It does kind of support the under. I was looking at more from an ATS perspective, 5-22 fade spot.
Yeah.
But again, it's like one of those spots where it's like the Nets are just, it's hard to predict if that's going to go 5-23 or 6-22. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
But I would lean the under as well.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So this is what got you on the Bucks.
Yeah, that's the original query I was looking at to support the Bucks. 5-22 is just, but yeah, it's kind of a bad travel spot for Milwaukee. It's just,
Yeah, it is a bad travel spot for Milwaukee.
I think it's 12 games in a row. I see 12 travels in a row without being able to stay in the same spot for 2 days, which is absolutely insane. I got some more support for that under too. I see if you want it. But I also so one of the things I was looking at was the Nets, which the Nets, ironically enough, I think they're rated number 1 offensively. They have the number 1 offensive rating, both at home and on the road over the last 10 games. It makes sense because they're 9-1 and they've been covering a lot. But if you look at them, in home conference games, like just look at them in home conference games. I see they take these pretty serious. 8-3 to the under there. I got them 4-1 to the under when they're home favorite of 4 points or less.
Sorry, I was looking at that one. Do it again. Home favorite.
Yeah, just home favorite with when they have to cover by 4 points or less. So it's a pretty tight game, right?
Oops. 1-1 to the under.
Four straight in a row that have gone under in that spot. I also looked at the Nets RC after scoring 125 points or more. in their previous game, because they did just score 140, I think, close to 150 against the Golden State Warriors the other day. And we know teams typically come back down to earth after that. So we see that the total in their games after are about 216 in that spot. And then I was looking at a league watch in RC of teams that scored 140 points. Shout out to you. I know you put me on this one a long time ago, RC. Teams that score 140 points, how they do, afterwards. How do they bounce back scoring wise?
Got you.
When the total is set at 225 or higher, RC, you see that they're actually 7-3 to the under, including for a straight net spot as well.
Got you. Yeah. And then this one went over because of OT.
Overtime, yep. Yeah. Yep. So I like that under a lot. RC. It's in my best slip. Haven't placed it yet.
What is it at right now?
229.5, I think you said right before the show.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because I was asking why it went up, and then Greg was like, "All right, because Kyrie went, Kyrie's status went up, upgraded." Yeah.
Okay. RC, the other thing, Trent, you told me to kind of come back to. I messed the percentages up. It wasn't 60%. It was actually 50%. Two good teams playing at home with a home favorite have, just laying 4 points or less. Trend that backs the Nets in this spot and that backs the 76ers being the home teams. And we talk about the bad travel spot for both the Bucks, and we talked about it for the Clippers as well, traveling from west to east.
Sixers and Nets. Home favorite, short line, both winning record.
Yep.
I like it. Okay. Dang. And there's so many good angles today in all the games. All right, so what was that? Sixers. And then we got the Nets Bucks under. What else we got? What are the games that you guys are leaning towards that we need to find some support to try and make it happen? What about the chat? What are you guys looking at in the chat here? Make sure to drop some plays too. Giannis averaging 37 versus the Nets last 4 games. That's a good call out. Let's go with the
RC, didn't you say you wanted to back the Spurs today and fade the Magic? You want to talk to the people about why you want to do that?
Yeah, I don't know anymore, to be honest. But there's so many other games. But let's look at that real quick. All right, so
okay.
Let me see what notes I have on this one. Okay, this is primarily the reason. It's I talk about it on the show before. I think is when you have two teams that are lower tier, one team is a favorite that don't deserve to be a favorite ever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the way that I was looking at it. So if we look at just the Magic in general,
as a home favorite, I think they're 0-3. Yeah, and now they land the most points.
It don't even have to be at home. It's just they would only be favorites at home. But
right.
But yeah, 0-3 straight up and ATS there, and they're losing by a pretty decent margin. Now you're getting 7 points, right? Like, and the Spurs, all right. So if we look at the Spurs here, it's not like they've been playing bad, right? The last few games they've actually been playing okay. For the most part, right? In my opinion, right? So it's not like they've been like terrible. As far as that goes, I don't know. To me, it would just be a spot where you got to look against the Magic for the most part, regardless of who's playing on the other side. It would be a fade of the Magic as favorites. Like, what other time would the Magic be favored by 7 points?
RC, like, so two things I want to mention real quick. RC, this reminds me a lot of OKC being a favorite, which typically is when we want to fade them, right? We've talked about that for a really long time. Yep. And the other thing you've been talking about on the show all week, right, is the books actually baking all of this stuff into the line and over adjusting a tad bit, right? Like, because the San Antonio Spurs played last night and they have to travel from New Orleans to Orlando, you have to add that into the line and you're getting extra points. You know, of course, nobody's going to want to jump out and take San Antonio because they've been so bad, but are you really willing to lay 7.5 points with the Orlando Magic? That's what I'm saying. Insane to me.
Because and then you get the back-to-back too, not just the travel, so that also gets added to the line as well. Mm-hmm. I just don't see any way. It's basically just saying take the opposite of whoever the Magic are playing when they're favorite. Just like you would take the opposite of when the Spurs are favorites or the Rockets are favorite. You know what I mean? Like it's just the way that I was looking at it, and that's to me. I talked about it last night, but because there's so many other games, I don't know if I want to put my actual money on it. That's the thing. But I'm really close. I'm really close though. I didn't even know Keldon Johnson was gonna be back tonight. Is that confirmed or is he still questionable? Does anyone know that?
Hold on, I can find out.
Yeah, same.
I can't believe we're looking at this thing.
Wait, no. Well, I'm saying if Keldon Johnson is in and they're 7-point dogs to the Magic, like
I mean, I like back in the Magic more. Just like this has nothing to do with SDQL, but when they're a dog, I don't like
exactly.
that.
Same, YBB.
So
confirmed.
Yeah,
AJ is in, so I will.
He's not on the injury report as of 2 hours ago.
I think I'm gonna take the Spurs, dude. Like,
the books are begging you to do it.
There's no way. How are you 7-point dog? Yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna take the Spurs here. They were just 8.5-point dogs yesterday to the Pelicans. They have CJ and all those guys, and obviously they're a better team than the Magic, even with everybody on. And they're only a 1.5 point difference between the two teams. I'm cool, man. I'm taking the Spurs. I'm taking the Spurs. You could hate me all you want. Greg's looking at me like I'm crazy, but I like it. I like this spot. I'm not gonna take the Magic as favorites.
When you've been burnt with them as favorites, RC, you don't want to do it again. Because trust me, I was on them when they were favored against Charlotte. I'm never doing that again.
That happened to me when I took the Rockets as favorites to the Spurs. Fucking
some teams just don't deserve to be favorites, but somebody has to be.
Exactly. That's exactly what I said in the beginning, right? Teams, someone's a favorite, you gotta go the opposite way.
Yeah.
Hey, there is one game though I want y'all's opinion on.
Yeah, let's do it.
I don't know if you guys talked about it, but the Timberwolves versus Celtics.
Oh, you know what? I didn't look at this game much at all. I just know the the Celtics at home are an over team, but other than that, I didn't really look at this. What you got on it?
That's such a big spread.
Right?
Like
it's very telling,
not covering 5 straight games.
Yeah, I wanted to see that because how many have they lost now? Is it like 6 of 8?
Oh, you're talking about the Celtics side? Yeah. Hold on. Celtics.
I was just thinking about maybe the first half or first quarter on them. To be honest, I was going to talk to y'all, and then YBB brought it up. I think that line is very telling.
They've lost.
Yeah, because they're double-digit favorites after losing 5 of the last 6. Yeah, that's the same thing one of the same reasons I took the Pelicans yesterday, because I saw that big ass line and they lost how many straight, and then the Spurs have actually been playing really well. I was like, why is this line this way? So I had to deep dive into it, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna take the Pelicans because it was like there's no way they're gonna be up for this game. I feel like just looking at this here, it's the same situation, right? How are they double-digit favorites after playing in the way that they have been? Did you have any other angles on this one, YBB, towards the Celtics?
This is tough. The way I'm looking at it is I think Celtics in the first half, because again they got that look ahead spot on Christmas Day versus the Bucks. Yeah. This is what makes today like kind of a tough cap because of the teams that are playing on Christmas Day or the teams that are going into a Christmas break. A-Wang shared like that stat with fading home teams. But man, this is tough because this is a wider line that the Celtics have compared to last game versus the Pacers. So, and they didn't even cover; they lost outright.
Yeah.
Do we think, RC, that there's any, and YBB, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this, and Greg too, if you want to chime in. Do we think that there's any substance behind, like, I know the look ahead spot is a really big thing, right? When you got the Christmas Day game coming up and you're the home team. But what about if it's just a get right spot? Because the Celtics kind of feel like they need a win no matter what, right? Do we think that they cover the spread? Like, is that something that we can look at, RC? Like maybe like those teams that do play at home and also play, on Christmas in a few days, but are like, coming into today's game on like a losing streak.
Shit.
I more just want to know like cut the Christmas angle out of that. Like, what is it coming off of? Like 5 or 6 losses, like 5 or however many losses they've had, and then double-digit favorites. What's that look like over the database?
Yeah, let's look at that real quick.
Let's just look at. I'm curious about.
I'm doing the long way.
Yeah, he's gonna hit it with a bunch of previous losses.
Yeah,
that's the way I do it too.
I do. I know there's a shorter way to do it. I think it's like, but I wish Austin was here because he would be just calling me out on this right now. But and all right, let's see.
You probably go get no results.
Wait, so hold on. Oh, you know what? Did they win that game? Hold on. The Celtics win one? No, they've
only lost their last 3. It's not 4 losses in a row.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. But they failed to cover.
The last 3 losses.
They failed to cover. Yeah.
Yeah.
So losing 3 straight, then they're favorites by double digits. Not much there.
Yeah. What if you take it back a couple years?
Yeah, take it back.
That's interesting, Greg. That's an interesting angle.
Oh, yeah, look at that. All right, so we go this way. Let's go 2018. (27-1) straight up, 18-7-3 ATS. If we look at this season, so what happened here in this season? 76ers took care of the Pacers. Nets, Pacers. What happened here? I wonder if was this one? What? Oh, sorry, my laptop's talking to me. All right, so Kyrie, KD, Ben Simmons. Shit, they actually had a whole squad there. No Miles Turner. Damn, Indiana just went off from 3. That's what it looks like.
We'll chuck this one up to Steve Nash being the coach, I see.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah, they went off after. They went off after. Cavs as double-digit favorites here. Damn, they pushed in OT.
Yeah, I remember that game. I think that was a game that with the Cavs were coming back from that West Coast trip. I see. Remember they went out there, they lost to Sacramento, lost to the Clippers. I think this was like one of the first games they had coming back home off that road trip.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, because typically they're at home. Cavs get it
without Jared Allen as well. I see. I don't think he participated in that game. Also, the Timberwolves game that they lost was the games that they gave up all those points at home.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, Evan Mobley, Garrett. They had a. Well, yeah, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, from a long-term perspective, since 2018, it is favorable to take the double-digit favorite in this spot here. So it is. Yeah, that's a good call out there by you guys, YBB and Greg, for this line here. And this angle, so good call out there.
I just feel like that line is so telling. Like they want you to take Minnesota. Line looks really attractive, but I don't know. Boston can show up, but it's just tough to say with the Bucks on deck.
Didn't Smart get upgraded too?
Yeah. I saw he got upgraded to probable. But Robert Williams got downgraded to questionable.
But I mean, I feel like they were doing better without him.
They were. No, it's not a feel, RC. No, it's a fact.
Yeah. You were trying to say something, Greg?
No, I was just saying I'm going to try and figure out if, like what YBB was saying, like, is this just more of like a get in, get out? Like, do they just like put the pedal to them in the first half and then just coast the second and then just get on to Christmas?
Shit, look at that first quarter.
Take that -10.
That angle that you look at that first quarter in that angle you brought up.
Yeah, the first quarter is -3 right now.
I'm sold.
I'm sold.
In the Celtics.
All right, so let's look at one thing real quick. Let's look at the first quarter for Minnesota last 10 games. So where are they? Offensive rating, Minnesota. So about even, 0.8. Now we know Boston's been bad. Minus 2.3. Their offense has to turn it around at some point, and if Robert Williams is out, that actually will probably help them.
Even though RC, that's a great angle, but they started struggling before he even came back, and he's been playing off the bench, so it's no reason for them to be struggling before he even gets into the game.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it was reintegrating Al Horford back into the lineup, who shot really, really poorly since he came back as well.
What did he have? He had COVID, huh?
Yeah, COVID. Yeah, he came back and stunk it up because I was on Marcus Smart over 7.5 assists, and he died on the hook after passing it to Al Horford maybe 30 times, and Al Horford just building a mansion out there in Boston.
Yeah. First half over Boston and Minnesota. Yeah, I saw that Corday in the chat there. I don't know if you guys seen that clip, but dude traveled like crazy.
He retweeted it. Yeah.
But there's a whole bunch of like everyone that carries and all that stuff too. There's a lot going on in the NBA. Yeah, I like that first quarter now. I like that first quarter. That's a good look. Let me see if it's the same in 20. First quarter gap right there. Hey, look at that. Look at the gap between first quarter and second half. It's like first half and second half. That's like almost 10 plus 10 points almost, and then minus in that second half.
So they come out with everything, and then the other team kind of fights back in the second half.
Yeah, because they're like they want to make sure they get it done. I mean, like obviously they're on a 3-game losing streak, and this is a spot where they kind of bounce back here. It makes a lot of sense to me. I like that. Would you guys do first quarter or the first half?
That's what I'm trying to decide between right now. I think I might go with the first quarter.
I'd go with the first half. I'd go with the first half only because of how Minnesota played against Dallas recently. Really slow. I think they try to pick up the pace in the first half and get beat at their own game. I like the over.
The over. Someone just said that, right? Yeah, first half over, 117.5. I like it. Let's do one more. We're at the 40 minute mark. Let's do one more.
RC, real quick on that one. Rudy Gobert is listed as questionable, and of course he does influence the total a lot. Just for so the viewers know as well, he hasn't been ruled yet that I've seen. 22 hours ago, he was listed as questionable.
Okay. I wonder why the total's gone down.
Maybe anticipation that he is going to play. Because we saw the total go down in the Dallas game from 230 to 227 the other day when he did get ruled in.
Yeah, that's true. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah, that's a good call out. Let's do one more. Did you guys have anything on Dallas and Houston?
No, but I like Dallas. I think it's a bounce back game for them because they lost the last one. They were
I
think
was
like 9.5 point favorites when it opened last time, and then they ended up losing that game outright. But they like a couple people didn't play. I know like Wood was getting some points then, and they still lost that game because I was on Houston last time, and that was right after they beat the Warriors like in a little tight game with the Warriors.
All right, so Mavs are 3-1 ATS the last 4. This is the last game of the road trip. Let's see how they do in the last game of a road trip.
Without doing any SDQL, I kind of lean the Rockets, but
what's the 7 numbers at 7?
It's just them playing on Christmas Day. I'm going to that game, by the way.
The Christmas Day one?
Yeah, Christmas Day.
Mavericks. What did I swear I had something on this? Mavericks. All right, so they're on the road favorite. Let's look at road favorite. I feel like their ATS all season long has been pretty bad. 3-6.
It is. They are 6-9. 6-9 on the road. Just overall, I see.
6-9 on the road overall.
Yeah. ATS wise.
I got you.
Yeah.
And they covered 4 of the last 6. Maybe they're trending in the right direction. Damn, what happened here? Oh, everybody sat on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody sat there. This one, okay. Maybe they're trending in the right direction, guys. What do you think? On the road. Let's look at Rockets. Rockets at home. They lost 4, haven't covered in any of them. Heat, Blazers, Spurs, Magic, Mavs. This is 7 points here. Shit, it does look like a lot. 7 points. 7 points does look like a lot now. I mean, if you compare it to these other teams, right?
Yeah, I see. When we look to attack the Mavs, don't we typically do it in the first quarter because Luka plays the entire first quarter?
Yeah. And they're down in the first quarter. All right, so let's look at. I want to look at this game. 6.5, right? 6.5 point dogs to the Suns, but there's 7 points to the Mavs. Like that don't look right at all. Someone must have sat. Oh, Booker was gone. Okay, now that makes more sense. It does seem like a lot now, though.
Yeah, we're not getting the best of the line. I think this one opened at 6.
It did?
Yeah.
See, that's what happened when you drink at night.
So the market agrees with you. You would just, probably move the line to 7.5.
So I don't move lines. I'm a common bettor. Fuck. I thought I had some angles on the Mavs. Now I can't find my queries here. All right, never mind. I don't like this game at all. Anyone else got one game that we want to break down before we cut out?
That's about it for me. I mean, what about the Lakers though? Like,
Hornets and Lakers?
Anybody you buying that 3.5? Because I mean, LBJ is going to play. You really think they're going to lose to the Hornets?
Anything's possible with that Lakers team without AD. Great. I think the total was the best look, and the lines, already got away. I should have played it last night when it opened at 234. I think it was all the way up to like 242 when I saw it last.
That line is hella short.
I just feel like it's kind of short.
And it's coming, and the money's coming in on Charlotte in this spot too.
I like it the other way. I think the Lakers get that win tonight.
But do they cover?
I mean, yeah.
Like money line? Talking about money. Man, all these games are fucking ugly. All right, so let's do.
What about the if you want to keep going on this one, that's fine. See, I was looking at fading the Washington Wizards tonight against the Sacramento Kings, just based on that bad travel spot. The Wizards are playing 4th game in 6 nights, 5th game in 8, I think. And the spread opened at 7.5 last night. It's all the way up to 9 now. Is there any value on fading the Washington Wizards tonight against the Sacramento Kings, or no? What do we think?
The Wizards versus the Kings. Hold on, let me. I want to look at it because I didn't realize the total was this high. So if we look at total greater than equal to 240. So the 240 there. Let's do. Okay. Did you someone say something about the over?
I said the over, I see, but I said it last night when it opened. It opened at like 230, 234. It's been shot up to all the way to 242 now. So I should have got on it last night, but I didn't play it.
Damn. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I saw 234 last night.
Missed out on that.
Yeah.
You say you were leaning towards the Lakers, Greg? Just on the money line or to cover the 3?
I think they cover it. That's my opinion. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't gotten there with a lot today. That one's definitely at the bottom. I think I'm going to get there with the Celtics in some way. But other than that, that one was just on my short list.
All right. So if we look at these short lines as home favorites, Lakers have not been covering it. Like they even won this one and didn't cover the 3. I mean, you would think the Lakers would be able to win by 3.
To me, that's almost asking them just to win the game. So I like it.
Yeah.
For me, like 2 to 2.5 spreads are like asking them to win the game. So I don't mind paying the extra half point, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna get there on that one. I gotta dig into a little bit more on that one. I got plenty of time though. That's a 10 o'clock game for me, or like a 9:30 game for me.
Let's look at the. All right. So last one for real. I could go forever on this, but I don't want. No one's gonna watch a 2-hour show. Okay. So Kings are at home. They're home favorites. Dang, 9 points to the Wizards, and they were just 8-point favorites to the Lakers.
Two horrible defensive
Wizards
teams.
on the second of back-to-back too, and they're still okay. Only 1 point difference there. Okay, let's go. Did you have any queries on this already?
Yeah, see, let's look at. I just want, honestly, I think it's just one that we need to run. How do we run teams playing on their fifth game in 7 and 8 nights? Like that's the spot for the Wizards. It's the worst travel spot in the NBA.
Fifth game in how many nights?
I want to say it's fifth game in 8 nights. Yeah, because you can't play 5 and 7, so it's fifth game in 8 nights.
Jesus.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, plus. Is that right? Shit. Hold on. I don't think that's right. I think this was. It should be
fifth game in 7 nights. I see.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Okay. So this is fifth game in 7 nights.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would have had to type it out the long way, but yeah.
All right, and then we'll do. I don't think this is gonna make a difference, but I think S equals 0. Yeah, it does make a difference. All right, so failed to cover the last 3. 9 and 8. Shoot, that's actually not bad. Let's do with their opponent rest is greater than 0.
Covering even more.
That's funky.
But what about historically, I see? What about like last couple of years?
Shit, look at these large ones. They're covering it. They're just not winning. Maybe it's just like what we talked about earlier, where they add some points to the line that they shouldn't have, or they over adjust.
I can see that. It does look like I see. You see the third quarter and the fourth quarter. Those teams kind of fall off and don't score as many points. I think that was an average of a combined of about 51 points in the second half. Is what you just showed.
Yeah,
26-point quarter and a 25-point quarter.
So if we look at the seasons, right, it's kind of a mixed bag here on the ATS, but we can see primarily towards the under there. So let's just go back to. All right, so let's go back to. What did you say about the second half?
They just those teams they typically give everything they have in the first half and they don't score as many points in the second half. You see it right there in that query right there. That's only 53 points.
Yeah,
26 and 26.
Yeah, this seems like it's pretty tight.
Yeah.
You would think that they would be really
better
paid. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I see.
I mean, last season looked pretty good, but if we go through multiple seasons, it's back and forth, and they already started this season where they actually cover the games.
Mm-hmm. You said it might be that over adjustment. I see by the books. Kind of baking it in.
Well, sorry. So as Road Dogs, they do have a bad third quarter and fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm. Kind of run out of gas.
Let's look at season equals 2022. Even if they cover the full game, what does it look like? All right, so they're primarily covering the first half. And they do terrible in the second half, even though they cover the full game. That's what it looks like. Yeah, fuck it. I don't know if I can mess with this one.
No, I'm with you.
There's a lot of mixed stuff in that one.
I'm with you.
All right, so we're coming up on time. Real quick, I do want to make sure that you guys drop any officials or any plays that you guys want to pass on to the viewers here. Greg, let's start with you. Was there anything that you ended up wanting to play or kind of count
I'll
as an official?
I'll tweet it out, but it'll either be the Clippers. I'm sorry, the Celtics first half or first
Celtics.
quarter. One of those two. Yeah, I'm gonna be on it in some way, shape, or fashion. That's for sure.
Celtics first quarter or first half. I
Yeah,
like
I'm
that.
gonna end up
I like
deciding.
that. Yeah. So make sure on that note, make sure you guys look at their. Let me grab the screen off 1 second. Sorry. You can see their Twitter handles on their name right below their image, like on the bottom of their box. So make sure you follow these guys. And he said he's gonna drop the official on his Twitter. YBB, what do you got? What do you want to drop for the viewers here?
Only thing I'm on today is Portland. I think there's a lot of games to break down, but there's not a lot of numbers that I really like. I like the Celtics as well. I'll probably go with Greg in the first half on that. I'm still looking at the slate, but for right now, Portland's just screaming at me. I think this is
what
a
is it,
good
+5? Is it +5 now? Is it,
I'm not too sure. I mean,
4.5 last I checked.
+4.5?
it was
Yeah,
4.5,
in that
but
direction. Yeah.
if some of those people that were listed out are doubtful, are upgraded to questionable or in, you might get a better number. So, regardless, though, I like Portland a lot today. So,
Yeah.
and this is a good revenge spot too. Let's not forget, last time that they met, it was a buzzer-beating winner by Jamal Murray. So,
Yeah, I remember that one.
yeah, I don't know, man. Dame Lillard props might go off too today.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
First quarter, first half. And then you said, so you got Blazers and then possibly the Celtics first half?
Yeah, but I don't want to copy Greg, so I had to switch it up.
All right, Chris, what do you got?
Call it a collab play, YBB. RC, looking at that Clippers and 76ers under, I see even since the show has been going on, I talked about it being at 215. It's at 215 and a half now, so it's been bet up just a tad bit, half a point. I still like the under there in that spot. Also, we kind of broke down that Bucks and the Nets under 229 and a half in that game. Also really love that angle. And then my favorite look of the day, RC, is the Cleveland Cavaliers. We didn't talk about that game, but the Cavs first half, me and you kind of chopped it up about that game earlier, but really like the Cavs first half, just kind of waiting for Evan Mobley to be ruled in. He was listed as questionable on the injury report. But, just looking at that team, when they have all of their guys, they are 12 and 12-0-2, I think, straight up when they have Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Donovan Mitchell, and Darius Garland in the starting lineup. So double revenge game for them as well against the Toronto Raptors, and the first time that they're actually getting them at home. We know how strong Cleveland plays at home. So really like them in the first half. Probably a trifecta spot, probably first quarter, first half, and full game. Looking for them to kind of keep it going, after they beat up on the Bucks the other day.
Yeah. What do you think, real quick, what do you think about that team total under on the Raptors? Because I know we always talk about that team total opposite of the Cavs when the Cavs are at home. I might just go with that one blindly because we've been cashing that one a lot. And sometimes there's those things where you don't really got to break it down, just kind of continue going with it as long as it keeps cashing.
Yeah, if Jared Allen in, check. Place the bet.
Yeah, exactly. All right, cool. So I got you Clippers, Sixers under, Bucks, Nets under, Cavs possible
first half. Yeah, first half,
half.
-2.5.
Got you. First half -2.5. All right, so I like the Bucks and Nets under as well. And I also like the Blazers. We talked about that. And also the Blazers Nuggets under. I mean, those are the 3 games that I like that I've already broken down. But for the most part, man, I feel like I'm gonna have like 6 to 7 games after this show.
Don't forget your Spurs, RC.
And the Spurs, yes, Spurs. No, write it down. The Spurs.
Look at that one.
The other thing is, dang it! Now I lost my train of thought. Hold on. So what did I say? So I got Bucks Nets under, Nuggets Blazers under, Blazers, and then the Spurs. Yeah. Then I'm probably gonna have like three more plays. I'm going heavy today. It's the shooter shoot mentality, like Ski says. So we're gonna be doing that today. I like a lot of stuff. Oh yeah, the other one was the Celtics. I might ride with you guys on that Celtics. I don't know if it's first quarter or first half, but it might be that first quarter. All right, so that's the end of the show, guys. Dang, we hit an hour. I was trying to stop like 15 minutes ago. All right, so that's the end of the show, guys. As always, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button before you bounce. And I always want to end with this, guys. Whether you fade us or follow us, it is on you guys to make that call. Good luck on all your action. Till next time, peace.